Welcome to Rec Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Erik, Paul, and Christopher.
Hello. Get out. Erik, where's your creepy voice?
I'm sorry.
Get with the program here.
I was so impressed with yours. It makes up for my lack of one.
Not very good at improv, are we?
Well, not when it comes to goofy voices.
Gotcha.
I've been practicing. My band played a Halloween show last night, and our closing song was Thriller, so the big laugh at the end.
My voice is naturally creepy, so it kind of is what
Anytime
it is.
you laugh is just scary.
Yeah, we all shake in fear.
That's not bad.
Hey, welcome to Rec Review.
Welcome to Rec Reviews, Halloween edition.
Halloween edition, yeah.
We're talking horror movies today.
And one by one, we will all be killed off during this episode.
Exactly.
Sorry, Sharky.
Sharks
You're
first.
going to be the first to go.
3 men enter, 1 man leaves. And seeing as I'm the black guy here, we know who'll be the first to get killed.
Yeah.
Let me start right with that. Did you guys ever see? So there are different like genres of horror, like monsters and gory and all that stuff. Did you guys ever see a movie called Leviathan? It was basically about
back in the 80s, right?
Yeah, it was basically about a sea monster kind of thing. Here's what struck me about that movie. So the black guy always dies. The black guy always dies in the horror movie.
Yeah.
This movie, went all the way to the end, and the black guy was alive. And in the last second, just before the credits, like they're all in the water. These are the survivors. They're all in the water. The monster's hand comes up and grabs the black guy, pulls him down, and he dies. And then the credits roll.
All right.
Honestly, it was like they were like, wait a minute, we forgot to kill the black guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just throw that in real quick.
No, they didn't forget that. This was premeditated.
They had to go back and film that. Like, shit, the black guy's alive.
I was like, I am going to call Louis Farrakhan right now. This is bullshit. What's going on?
No, they build up a false sense of hope for you just to dash it right in the last second.
That's exactly what it was. That would probably be my favorite horror movie of all time. But now I'm like, it's the worst ever.
Are there any horror movies where it's all a black cast?
There are, but the ones that I have seen they're more comedy.
Barbershop?
They're more comedy. Like there's Tales from the Dark or Tales from the Hood. It's like Tales from the Dark Side, but it's all black cast.
I've seen Leprechaun from the Hood. Leprechaun.
Leprechaun. Was it In the Hood?
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah.
And they made a sequel to that, called Leprechaun in the Hood too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Probably did very well in backwards areas.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you can't really do an all black horror movie because everybody would die, and then
I would assume whoever the chick is in that cast would maybe live.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like you get bonus points if you're a chick in a horror movie.
Should run around with or a kid.
Yeah,
the kid would be the one to live. Yeah,
or the kid's the one killing everybody.
Yeah,
depending on what horror movie you're watching.
Black people. We don't make horror movies. Our life is a horror movie. So now, away from the political part of the show.
Boys in the Hood was a horror movie.
I feel like in scary movies, just black people know better not to go into these places.
It's
always white people running around in the woods.
I sit and watch horror movies sometimes, and I'm just like, okay, this is more white people. They're going to get killed for a stupid reason. I've seen movies where it's like, oh yeah, let's go down in this cave. I'd be like, no, let's not go down in the cave. Why would we do that? What is the point in going down in the cave? Oh, well, 15 people have died here. See, you're telling me reasons to not go in the cave.
Blair Witch. Like, you don't see a black cast going to look for the Blair Witch.
No. There was a black person, I believe, in the new one that I watched, yeah.
Then it's a completely unbelievable movie.
Yep. It's not a good movie. I will be happy to talk about it here in a little bit, but should we talk about what we're drinking?
Sure.
I'm drinking air because, as usual, I must go to work this evening.
You work like every day. Is there a day you don't work?
No, not really.
Okay,
not really. Yeah, that'll be my horror movie tonight. Is the kind of the last day of the Halloween weekend, which is
is today going to be the worst because it's closer to the real Halloween?
Yesterday was the
last night would have been the worst.
Saturday.
I think people are kind of partied out, and since Halloween is not a national holiday, people do have to go to work on Monday.
Yeah.
So they won't be, and it's looking a little bit rainy right now, so it might be slow. But what happens is you get the hardcore partiers that are still in their costumes, probably from last night. And they're going to be out in full force.
So the worst ones are coming out tonight.
Yeah, well, the worst out of 30, it'll be like the worst 5.
Yeah.
So
it'll be like the people that spent like $200 on their outfit, and they're going to squeeze every day of the weekend out of it.
I had a guy last night who tried to fight me who was dressed like Batman, and apparently he thought he really was Batman, and he ended up on his back and then in handcuffs, and he spent the night in jail.
Yeah,
it's a
great.
beautiful thing.
You should have just called out the name of his mother. Fight averted.
Where did you hear that? But yeah, it's been
maybe
quite
in jail
interesting.
people will make him say Martha.
It's been quite interesting, and we did at the Pacific Beach Ale House. We did a whole Mad Max theme.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. There's a guy who he builds, that the Wasteland thing, that whole festival out in the desert.
Burning Man?
Well, not Burning Man. There's one called Wasteland, which is basically it's like a whole Mad Max thing. He builds all the props for that. So he has a huge like Mad Max truck and a motorcycle and all that. It's got
That's cool.
It's got a harpoon on top of it, and we had all that stuff out in front of the ale house. So it's really cool, and it drew a lot of people. But for me, nothing but a nightmare. So, and that's my story.
That's too bad.
That's the horror movie that I wrote this weekend.
At least you live to tell a tale.
True.
That remains to be seen.
Waiting till right before the credits roll.
Exactly, right before the credits roll, though, the hand's going to come up and pull me down.
I'm assuming you were not in costume as a bouncer.
No.
Yeah.
You ever dress up?
No.
You don't seem like the type.
I hate Halloween with a passion.
I actually dressed up for the first time really last night for this gig I did, because I usually don't bother. I'll just put on some stupid hat or mask or whatever. But I actually got decked out for this one. I went as Fairy Godfather. I tried to do like a Marlon Brando kind of Godfather outfit, and then just put on some fairy wings.
The last time I dressed up was about 10 years ago, and it's because I was managing a club and I was required to dress up, and my costume was very simple. I had on a T-shirt with pictures of women taped on it, and I was Chick Magnet. That was my costume.
I'm stealing that for next year.
And I just went around, and every time I walked by a girl, I would like link on to her.
No.
I was like, yeah, I'm a Chick Magnet.
That's genius.
You could do that now and just be called Instagram.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's about the same sort of thing. All right, so Shark is not drinking anything. I am drinking The Contender by Duckfoot because me and Paul were just there.
Yep, I am as well, only like a man's version of it.
There's a robot on your bottle.
Man's version of it?
Well, I got the big growler.
I was like, we're drinking the same thing.
It's the same beer. I'm just
yours,
drinking more of it.
Paul, yours looks like more like some sort of
like an Alice in Wonderland drinking.
Like medicine from a medicine man or something.
It even comes with this with a tag where they label it
the toe tag.
Yeah,
like when you're dead.
Tag.
Eric, why is there a robot on your bottle?
I have no idea.
That's one of their logos.
It's a robot like boxer.
Yeah,
He's
I don't know.
Contender.
Battling Maxo.
I'm not sure like what the history or the story is behind this beer. So apparently involves a robot boxer, which I can get behind.
I think it's like a mix of Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
But kind of like photoshopped on a hipster.
Could have been a contender.
Did that get turned into a movie with Hugh Jackman?
Yeah. It was.
Yes.
It was battle.
Yes, it did. I watched it.
Was that any good?
No. It's like, and it was all because it was also it was from the Twilight Zone, battling Maxo. It was the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that movie. I'm like, that sounds terrible.
It was absolutely terrible.
If you're 12 years old, it's probably like
it's probably good. Yeah.
Your religion for a couple of years.
Yeah, well, because you're seeing Wolverine in a different type of movie. So
yeah, there
you go.
Oh, apparently there was a new Wolverine trailer, by the way. I don't know if anybody saw it.
I did see it.
Does it look good?
No.
There's buzz about it.
Well, it looks like it's going to be...
He's like old or something, right?
Yeah, he's going to be old. It looks like...
like in makeup?
Yeah, well, they're all old now. Like, he's old, and Professor X is really old. And
Patrick Stewart has been the same age.
Yeah, forever. His show on TV is awesome, by the way.
I saw a couple episodes, the comedy, right?
Yeah.
I saw
Is
like
it
the
still
first,
going?
Yeah, it's
I
still
saw
on.
part of the first season. I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
funny.
He's good on like American Dad and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trailer doesn't look good. It looks like it's just going to be really dramatic, no action, which is what you want your superhero movies to be. But it looks like it's going to have a story at least. So it looks like they're kind of
It's a
closing
cool idea.
out the
Like
whole...
he's old and he's not healing like he used to.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah, he's kind of he's
Yeah, that's cool.
he's becoming
trying
Logan,
to,
and
he's
it's
trying
actually
to cut
called
out
Logan. Yeah,
cut out gluten.
it's actually called Logan. So you know,
I've hated. I think most of at least all the latest round from that genre, the X-Men stuff, the Wolverine movies.
they're terrible.
They're all bad.
Yeah, I didn't
like
like any of the Wolverine movies, and he's been my favorite superhero.
yeah,
Yeah, and I really like Hugh Jackman. I would.
Yeah, I
love
do
to see
too.
him.
Just something with those movies is not clicking.
Well, what it is
It's
that
Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer, and because this is what they decided, they're like, okay, we're going to take all the hot young stars now, and we're going to put them in the movie, even though none of them can act. So we're not going to have much of a story, but they're real hot, so people will go see.
Yeah.
I get the formula; they want to put asses in seats.
What was it? Apocalypse? Is that what we saw earlier?
Yeah. Oh,
That's
God.
in my running for like worst movie of the year. Like that and Jason Bourne.
Worst movie ever, almost. It's just. Ugh.
I tried to watch it on a what do we call it? A screener.
Oh, did you?
A screener. I couldn't sit through like more than the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, I just.
That movie's a complete shit show. Some would say it's a horror movie. To get back on track here.
What is your what now, you guys? What is your favorite like genre of horror?
I can tell. I can go ahead and tell you my favorite horror movie is The Thing. The John Carpenter's The Thing.
That's a very good one. I love The Thing. The John Carpenter one, not the
yeah. I don't think I've actually seen the original, the one like from the 40s or something like that. Yeah, and I passed on technically the sequel or whatever.
Yeah.
Once I found out like the monster was CG and not practical effects, I was like, I'm done. I don't need to see that.
John Carpenter movies are my type of horror movie.
Yeah,
and like The Thing is like my favorite of all of them of his movies.
Yeah, it's just so weird and out there, and the practical effects in that is still some of the best I've seen out of any movies even to date. And
it's like it's horror, it's got suspense, and it's funny. Like the whole.
What year is that?
It's early 80s, I think.
80s, yeah.
Like 84,
Kurt
maybe?
Russell.
Yeah, and there's like the actors, like they, like movies now, it's all like young, pretty people. And this is just like, I mean, they weren't necessarily old back then, but they were like scruffy dudes.
Yeah, well,
they
you
look
know
like
what?
science, like they actually look like the people that would have been there at that job.
They were like scientists at an ice station, and that's what scientists at an ice station would look like.
Yeah.
bunch
There's
of
not
guys
any
with-
like hot chicks that are like.
A bunch of dirty guys with scruffy beards. That's
Well, movies in the 70s and 80s in general were more like that. It was grown people. It wasn't 20-year-olds and everything.
Yeah.
If you look at a movie like I don't know, like say Serpico. Like that, like
Yeah.
Al Pacino, the way he looked is like, that's what a cop in the 70s looked like.
Yeah.
So
Dog Day Afternoon.
all those movies. It's like what's her name? The chick from who's in every movie now, Jennifer Lawrence. And it's like, I've seen lawyers and cops. They don't look like Jennifer Lawrence.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so have you seen The Thing, Paul?
I'm not sure. Maybe
That
a
dude's
long time
head
ago.
crawls off, so I think you would remember it.
Maybe I didn't. Probably not.
That is the best scene in that movie. Mm-hmm. The head comes off, and then the legs come out of the head. It turns into like a spider.
I've probably seen that. I think I've seen that scene somewhere, but just like out of context.
Okay, yeah.
Well, what's great about it is you see that, and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? And then the dude who sees it, he just goes, you got to be fucking kidding me.
That whole that movie's so good. Like it's super suspenseful.
Does it still hold up? If I watch it
100%.
now, I'll enjoy it.
It's one of those, for me, it's one of those movies that it's like,
It's
I think
ageless,
I want to
man.
watch The Thing now, and just put it on.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah, that's easily the best one that I can think of. I mean, most of the horror movies I like are from growing up and watching. I guess because it just sticks with me now. Like I've seen
All the Elm Street stuff and Jason, Friday the 13th.
those
all
don't
that.
actually do a whole lot for me. Like the slashers, like it's like dumb like popcorn fun.
Yeah.
Like Halloween was all right. That's John Carpenter too, wasn't it? Halloween.
The original one was Halloween. It was John Carpenter.
Yeah, sometimes I get it. Wes Craven was Nightmare
on Elm Street.
Yeah, who did Jason? Was that just?
I think that's just random. Because those movies. Like, I'm a lot older than you guys, so like Friday the 13th and Halloween and stuff. Those were like I was in high school. Those are the movies that we would go see as a big group of people, just like for the hell of it, just for fun. It's like, it's not going to be scary. It's just a bunch of idiots, drinking beer outside and then going into the movie.
Those are always on TV when I was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
But they're like edited.
Yeah.
So you don't really get much.
And I think that kind of turned me off to the genre. Like, I did watch them as a kid, but now, I don't know. I didn't really get into horror movies that much.
Yeah, I saw The Exorcist when I was probably too young to see it growing up.
So was I. And that, like, to this day, The Exorcist to me is the scariest horror movie ever made.
Yeah, that one really affected me. Well, and I grew up in a religious household too, so some of that stuff really sparks. The devil's going to get me.
Oh, here's what's funny. I went and saw that movie. I think I was 7 years old or something like that when that movie came out. And I went and I saw it with my older sister.
In the theater?
Yeah. And they used to have, back then they had something.
They let you in there?
Yeah, well, they used to have something called crying rooms. Like if you had a kid with you and they cried, you take it in your room. But you know the scene in The Exorcist where the bed is all jumping around? When that night, when that movie was over, I was in bed and my sisters, I have two older sisters, one younger sister. They like came in my room, snuck in, and started shaking my bed while I was asleep.
No, they are not good sisters.
Scared the shit out of me.
Wow. That's cold.
Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. But that's a very well made movie.
Yeah,
really scary. But they've done like The Exorcist 2, The Heretic, which was garbage. Just terrible.
That's the one where she's a teenager.
She's a teenager, and it's all like the devil is actually she got a curse put on her like by an African witch doctor or some crazy shit like this. It's really
they do.
Yeah.
So I guess we're heading in a commercial break, so we'll pick this up on.
We'll talk about movies that aren't good. Maybe in the next break.
And there's a lot of them.
All right, you're listening to Rec Reviews on Intertalk Radio. We'll be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Wrecked Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Eric, Paul, and Christopher.
And we're back.
By the way, Shark's here and Christopher is not. What
Christopher is not. Christopher
Where
is
Christopher?
He must have been slashed or abducted by aliens or
Yeah.
Blair Witched.
Maybe he got lost in the woods somewhere.
He got lost in the woods.
He's a white guy. He'd do that.
He would go walking in the woods alone with a camera, like for some unknown reason.
He's technically Mexican, but he's white enough to go do something dumb like that.
The witch would mistake him for one.
Exactly. Blair Chris.
All right, so the Blair Witch. Have you guys? You saw it, right, Paul? The
I
original.
saw the original, not the sequel.
All right,
I've seen neither.
you've seen neither. Okay,
I saw bits and pieces of the first one because, like, when it first came out, you couldn't get away from it. So,
Right.
Yeah.
first one good for its time. I know found footage is way overdone nowadays,
Yeah.
but I mean it was the first one to do that, so it created this whole new genre of horror film. So, got to give it some credit where credit's due. It also had the marketing campaign behind it was super genius, where they pitched it as like this was actually a real thing.
Yeah.
So
Did you fall for that when it came out? It was also kind of like the early days of the internet and internet online videos and all that. So like, I don't think everyone's bullshit detectors were as refined back then.
I was gullible enough to fall for it at first, but just from the trailers, I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
it seemed weird that like if like once you see it and you're like, oh, okay, you're watching kids die. There's like no way parents would like let that actually get out and other people make money from it. So I guess like if you think about it for a few minutes, you're like, yeah, there's no way that could be real.
Yeah,
but
but you want to believe.
yeah, it makes it more fun.
Yeah.
If you go and believe in that sort of thing, anyways. But I watched the new one. Like there was a Blair Witch 2, I think. That was a complete. I guess they just kind of ignore that. And this one was a sequel to the first one, per se, where like the girl from the main one apparently had a brother who now is old enough to go out into the woods to go try to find his missing sister, even though it's been 10 years. So it's already like kind of a bad at it. Oh, he saw a video. Like a video was found of his sister in a house. He's like, oh, she's still alive after 10 years. In like the creepy witch house that's in the woods.
Your sister's gone, kid.
Yeah, like it's been 10 years.
And if she's alive, she just really doesn't like you.
Yeah, she doesn't want to come back.
Yeah. So he gathers up some friends. I think there's like 4 of them, and one girl's shooting a documentary. Shocking.
Yeah.
So they all have little Bluetooth things they put on their ears that are cameras. So you get to see so it's all first person perspective from different people, but it's just cut interchangeably between each character. So
Probably gives you a headache.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as some of them.
Yeah.
But the first like half of the movie, all it is just jump scares.
Yeah.
And like after you do like 3 or 4 of those, you're like, all right, this is not effective at all anymore.
Right.
I just know a jump scare is coming, and there's probably like up to 10 of them maybe in the first half. So it's just
That's a cheap way to scare you anyway.
yeah. And a cool thing about the first one is they never ever show the witch. Like you never get to see it. And this one they show the witch for a few seconds. It looked like Slender Man or something. It didn't even look scary. It's just bad. And it was CG, so it was bad. Like
they should write into scripts like that where so the kid wants to go find his sister excuse me, after 10 years. And so he gets his friends to go with him. So why don't they write in there the one friend that goes, listen, you're a fucking idiot, and I'm not going to go running around the woods with you. And in fact, I'm going to tell your parents so you don't go either because all of you are crazy. Like, so that's the person I would be. Like,
yeah, well, they only had one black friend, and it was not the reasonable black friend.
There you go. Does the black guy die in this?
Yeah,
everybody
dies.
Of course.
Who
dies
first?
first?
He's not the first one.
He's not the first
not?
one.
No.
Oh, well, Martin Luther King's dream is a lie.
No,
Black lives matter a little bit more than they used to.
In this movie, they do.
Yeah. But just to let you know, just to give you an idea of like the stupid jump scares in this movie, at one point, they're talking like the day is gone, like it's always nighttime,
Right.
and they're talking. They're having this argument about how to leave and stuff like this, and the tent goes flying up in the air all of a sudden, like the tent just jumps. And they all freak out, get scared, and they do like a big sound effect with it. So you're like, oh, the tent is gone. That's a jump scare. And then like a few minutes later, as they're running through the woods, it lands right in front of them, and they get scared again. It's just like that's like the scary jump scare is the tent leaves and then comes back.
I don't understand why they would be scared of the tent coming back. Man. Like, personally, I'd be like, great, the tent's back. Let's get underneath it.
But it's just that's how stupid this movie is.
Yeah.
It's got a tent jump scare in it.
I think horror movies, like I don't even see horror movies anymore because they just seem real stupid now. But like those type of things, like if you're in the even if you're camping, okay, and all of a sudden your tent just flies away. Okay, that's not a jump scare. That's the end of the camping trip because it's like the tent shouldn't just jump up like that. So that's not something where you go, oh, that's peculiar. You know, no, let's get the hell out of here because something's wrong.
To their credit, they were trying to get the hell out of there. They just, once you enter the woods, you can never leave.
Why? Are
these
the
magic,
enchanted woods?
The witch.
Because you're cursed.
Yeah.
The witch has cursed you because she put up little wood things around your tent at night.
See, that's where you could take a movie like that sucks and actually make it good. Where all the friends turn on the guy who got them out there in the first place. Like, you know what? This is your fault that we're out here because we followed you out here to find your sister, who's dead, by the way. So, or she's actually the witch. God only knows. So,
it's a dumb movie. Don't go see it. I don't know if you can go see it now, but don't see it when it comes out on video. That would be my advice.
Well, but you know what? Actually, it sounds so bad that now I have to watch it.
Nah.
I have to stream it and see it. You know, so.
Well, if you want a night to get mildly frustrated for an hour and a half, then sure. Yeah. It is the movie for you.
It's a date movie for a girl you don't actually like.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to think of what's the most recent horror movie that I've seen that I enjoyed. The guy who directed the new Blair Witch that's not any good did a movie called You're Next, which I enjoyed.
I heard of that.
Which is kind of a funny horror movie, slasher movie. So I think it was on Netflix, and I don't know if it's how recent it is, but House of the Devil is really, really good. Have you guys seen that?
I haven't seen that one.
It takes place in the 80s, and the movie is very much shot like a movie from the 80s too.
Yeah.
So the less you know about that one, the better. So just go see it. It's a slow burn movie. I'll say that for it, but it's good.
I like the holiday. There's always like a holiday themed horror movie.
Krampus,
My Bloody Valentine, you know, stuff like that. And those are, I think that those movies were made to just be silly. Like we want people to come and just sit here and just laugh uncontrollably at how stupid these movies are. Like My Bloody Valentine. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
No,
but that's what it is. It's Valentine's Day, and the guy, he cuts out people's hearts. That's basically what.
Is it because some girl broke up with him in third grade?
It was a certain girl that drove him crazy, and she was like at the center of the whole thing. Like all of her boyfriends died, and then her friends, and then like her brother and stuff like that. And you found out it was.
Was she trying to date her brother?
Oh my God! It's Charles from third grade who I rejected his his little "Be My Valentine" sort of thing. So, yeah, well, but it's a lesson for all you girls out there. Don't turn down little Charles. Please accept the Valentine.
Does Leprechaun fall under holiday horror movie?
Sure,
I guess. Yeah, Leprechaun is actually if you're a kid,
Leprechaun's pretty good, man. Yeah, I had a good time watching Leprechaun.
I still have to see Leprechaun in the Hood though.
I've seen it.
Yeah. You got to see Tales from the Hood. You know Clarence Williams from the Mod Squad and the Big Afro. Mm-hmm. He plays a mortician in it. He's got to be like the scariest horror character I've ever seen. He's you look at him, you're like, that guy's the devil.
What about you, Paul? What's some horror movies you like?
I've actually one of the out of the recent ones that I've seen, The Conjuring, I liked, and then I just saw The Conjuring 2, which I wasn't as good as the first one. It's
is that just like an evil kid movie?
It's it's kind of exorcist-y. So it's this. Shark, you've seen either of those?
I have not seen it.
It's and supposedly based on true events. It's this
100% sure. Yeah.
Of course it is.
It's this husband and wife team of exorcists and ghost hunters, but it's kind of the first one is pretty cool. So the guy is, and I'm sorry I don't remember the names of the actors. The guy is he plays Night Owl in Watchmen, and and the girl is Leo DiCaprio's girlfriend in The Departed. I forget her name too.
Unforgettable actors.
Oh
no, she's been in a lot of stuff.
What's the V? Damn it!
Yeah.
Why can't I think of her name?
Oh, Vera Farmiga,
Yeah.
Farmiga or something like that.
Yeah.
She's on. She's
good.
on the.
She's good.
Psycho, isn't she on that show? The series.
There's a series called Psycho.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, or I think it's called Norman Bates, but
oh, okay.
Yeah, and she's the mother.
Bates Hotel.
Bates Hotel. That's it. Yeah, and she's Norman Bates.
I haven't
mother.
watched it. I just kind of seen it around.
There's so much TV now. I can't
much
keep up.
bad TV.
So the first one is actually pretty good. It's there's paranormal stuff with ghosts and possessing somebody in the house, and they call they work for like the Catholic Church, or the Catholic Church kind of employs them when there's
so they move right, and the movie's over.
They move.
Yeah, that's another thing I don't get about these movies.
Oh
like
yeah,
when the house
they
is
don't.
Possessed, it's
No,
like,
they don't
just
move.
Get out.
Well,
Go get a hotel room.
That was driving me crazy in the second one. Like, why don't you just move? But then the problem is the spirit possesses one of the people, so wherever you move, it goes with
just
you.
Move away from them.
Yeah, that's like
but that's like your kid.
Like Amityville Horror, which was the original was actually it was a scary movie. But like even as a kid, I was like, okay, so just leave. Like the ghost says,
yeah. So supposedly
out.
It's like the same people.
Oh, okay.
As Amityville Horror.
This is why I'm not a homeowner.
Yeah. Is any home worth that? I mean, man, like the first night in any house I owned, if something came out of the mirror and said "get out," I'd be like, "House is yours," and all the shit in it. See ya.
So, but it's kind of cool. I like it when they try to like come and with scientific instruments and like detect paranormal activity and stuff like that, and just get in over their heads and all hell breaks loose.
So okay, in The Conjuring, the house is possessed. Is it in Conjuring 2? Is it the same family? Do they just never move out and they're we're sticking this out through another film?
It's a different family because the husband and wife team they'll just go to like different people who are having these kind of issues, and there's this girl in England, and it's kind of like The Exorcist, very similar. She's possessed by some kind of.
If somebody, because if it's supposed to be like based on a true story, I want to know: is there somebody spending money to create little machines that can tell if there's a ghost in the house? And what exactly is it? Like, what is that?
Like, how do you tell?
There's that show. There's that Ghost Hunter show where they use whatever, like I don't know, infrasonic equipment or some shit like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to find somebody like that who's that gullible. Listen, I'm a ghost hunter. I think
are there any here in San Diego?
I think there's a ghost in your pants.
How do you find them?
Look the yellow pages, I guess, or look up ghost hunters on the internet. That would be.
I could understand finding it on the internet.
That would actually be a very cool thing to do. Is look up ghost hunters and actually call one, and just have because I would really like to hear what they have to say. I'd be like, I think I have a ghost in my house, and I want to get you to come over.
Then you know if they're for real or not. If they're going to be like, you're full of shit. There's no ghost here.
That'd be great. Then
I'd be like, they're for real. But if they start making shit up, the energy here is so negative.
Yeah.
But that could just be your negative energy because you're so
just
grumpy.
lingering.
I am a grumpy person. They'd be like, you're the ghost, damn it.
You're haunting yourself.
Oh God! What do you guys think? Like, I've never seen the movie Scream, and I think there were like 4 of those.
More than that, I think.
I think I saw one. It's just.
I enjoyed the first one when it came out.
Now, is it
a
like
parody.
Is it comedy? Is it a parody?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's still considered quote unquote a horror. I mean, Scary Movie is like the parody of the parody, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like nothing scary in that one, but yeah, that was kind of like the
people
stopgap.
Still get slashed in it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, it just calls out the
It's kind of meta,
like the tropes of horror movies and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Much of the same way. Did you guys see Cabin in the Woods? I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
I did see Cabin in the Woods. That's actually a scary movie.
That was good.
You know, movies that so I think I told you guys before about the movie Phantasm that I saw when I was a kid. That still haunts me because that's why I'm afraid of midgets because of that movie.
I like Phantasm.
But the like Stephen King's horror stuff is always really scary.
Just to interrupt for a second for our listeners that can't see us, Shark is you're what 6'4"?
6'4".
6'4". How many pounds, if you don't mind?
295, something like that.
Huge.
You're a bouncer.
He's a bouncer.
So
if you're a midget, if you're like under 3 foot,
yes,
and you know if you weigh like 65 pounds, you could take Shark just
you absolutely
by
could.
intimidation.
But see, the thing is, you wouldn't get that chance because when I see midgets, I leave.
Just run.
Yeah, I run away. And people,
the one thing you could do is run faster than the midget.
Absolutely. People laugh at that, but you don't understand. Midgets are little wizards. Okay, they have little wizard powers, and they that's a horror movie in itself.
All of them have powers.
Every one of them. Every midget that you see. And
now who's being racist?
I don't just mean a small person. Like small people are just small people. I mean actual midgets. Okay, they're wizards.
So
every
the
one
scariest
of them.
movie you've ever seen is The Wizard of Oz.
I won't watch The Wizard of Oz. I won't watch The Wizard of Oz. That is American Nightmare to me. Those little follow the yellow brick road. It's like, oh my God. Okay, and everybody wants to, like, people that know me, they're like, oh, we're gonna sneak a midget up next to you and scare you. I'm like, all you're gonna accomplish is getting a midget drop kick like across the room because it's gonna scare the hell out of me, and my natural reaction is gonna be to kick, and then the midget's gonna put a spell on me, and I'm gonna grow a fucking tail, and then I'm just gonna be done.
He's going to turn you into a real shark, and you're just going to suffocate because you're on land.
Yeah, they're going to cut off my fins, and I'm just going to float to the bottom, and then I'll be done.
Gonna chew on an oxygen tank.
But don't laugh. That's real. That's real.
All right, we got one more quick commercial break. Stay tuned. This is Rec Reviews on Intertalk Radio. We'll be right back.
And stay away from midgets.
That's right.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element. Affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Wrecked Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Eric, Paul, and Christopher.
Don't lie, Christopher. You're not here.
Back to the Wrecked Reviews.
We should get a new bumper. We keep saying that.
Yeah, we need a new bumper.
We're working on it. We got to get the midgets out of the system, and it's all good.
It's that midget magic. It just stops you every time you try to record a new bumper.
So we were talking about what movie scared you as a kid. Obviously, mine is I have two: Phantasm because of the midgets. It still scares me today, and The Exorcist is still a movie that I will watch with the lights on.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it's just weird, you know.
Yeah. The definitely The Exorcist for me is the one, and I didn't really watch horror movies after that for a long time.
Yeah.
And Paul's
For me, Pink Floyd The Wall was actually just because I was like very young when I saw it. And
Paul was an acid baby.
I was an acid baby. No, actually, I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States from the Soviet Union when I was 10, so I didn't really see any horror movies up until then, and that was just the first movie.
Communism for you.
Yeah, well, that was
taking away your horror movies.
Yeah, that would have freaked me out too.
Yeah, that was really the first one I saw. That was, and it's if anyone's ever seen Pink Floyd The Wall, it's dark.
I'm trying to remember. There was a movie, The Strangers, that came out a few years ago, probably, I don't know, 6 years ago.
Oh, that sounds familiar. What is that?
What, Liv Tyler's in that? Is that like they just break into a house?
Where they break
the two in the house and they break in.
That's right. That was a good movie.
That's actually a good movie, and it's scary because like those are the type of movies that are scary to me that are more realistic.
Yeah.
Even though that movie too, because they had a shotgun. And I was like, okay, sit in the bedroom, and anybody comes in the shotgun, you blow their goddamn head off. It's like that's pretty simple.
Is there a reason why they don't call the cops?
Yeah, they cut the phone lines.
Oh, is this pre-cell phones?
Yeah, well, and this was a house that was way out in the middle of nowhere.
Again, that's stuff white people do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And these kids, like, you kind of like get a sense that they do this all the time, and they kind of got it down. Actually, I saw that movie like it was a perfect setup because I was just like watching TV somewhere and just flipping channels and came across it and managed to like catch it pretty much at the beginning and had no idea what it was. Yeah. I didn't know it was a horror, and I was like, "Oh my god, this movie's fucked up."
Freaky. And you know what's the trippiest scene to me in that movie? Like, out of all the stuff in there, you know, they're being terrorized. It's a couple being terrorized by these people for no reason. They actually say, "Why are you doing this?" It's like, "Because you were home."
Yeah.
But the scariest scene in that movie is like this house is like out in the middle of nowhere, and it's like on a dirt road, but it actually has street lights. And the chick, she looks out the window, and there's just somebody standing in the middle of the street. Like just standing in the middle of the street, just staring at their house with like a mask on. Like right there, unless it's Halloween, right there I would be like, okay, grab the shotgun because something's going on. Like, and just pop one in this person who's staring at our house in the middle of the street.
You guys should totally watch You're Next. There's people with masks that. You're Next.
I found myself this weekend wishing that the movie The Purge, I was wishing that was a real thing, that there was like one day a year you could just go out and kill people, because I would plan right now and I would go through PB just on a mission, on a complete mission.
Is there a midget community in PB?
There is. So I work at the PBL house.
Explain to our listeners who are not native to San Diego what PB culture is like.
PB,
Pacific Beach.
I refer to Pacific Beach as the People's Republic of Moronica because it's all young kids and there's a bunch of bars and they're all very stupid.
It's pretty much
they're all trying to have sex with each other, right?
It's a bunch of drunk kids.
It's what, like 2 miles, 3 mile strip of just pretty much bars.
Pretty much bars and young drunk kids trying to jam their genitals into each other every night of the week. And that's all it is, and that's where I work, and that's what I have to deal with. And there is a midget who comes every Friday and Saturday night
to torment you.
He's there only to torment me. And like everybody else,
can anyone else see him or just you?
No, they see him, and they see him. Everybody tries to walk in front of him so that I don't see him until it's too late. Until he's right next to me. Like if I'm inside and he's out at the front door, they'll call me out front. They'll say, "Hey, Shark, we need you out here for something." Just because that guy's out there. Everybody thinks it's funny to give me a heart attack. I don't fully understand it, but. If we had the thing where the purge, where you could do that, I would plan. I'm like, okay, this person. On December 31st, you get it.
Is that a good movie?
The original one is actually not bad.
There's a couple of them, right?
Yeah, there's like three of them.
I just assume they go down to shit from the first one on. Well, that's always.
The last one was called Purge Election Year. And it's just it gets into like all this ridiculous stuff.
You should have the purge before the election.
Yeah, you should.
Like you shouldn't have. Yeah, that's.
You know the messed up thing is like some of these movies, like if you're gonna do a horror movie, like something like The Purge, it's actually a good idea. like when you as horror movies go, where hey, one day a year, there's no laws, you can do whatever you want, and the whole idea is to survive. Okay,
that sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah,
it kind of what you're gonna end up is just a society made out of psychos. Yeah. Survivalist psychos.
Well, we're talking about PB. So I told you guys earlier that like everybody was dressed as Negan from
Walking
Dead. And they all wanted to know why I would not let them come in the bar with bats.
Nah.
They're like, bro, this is part of my costume. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. You can't have a bat inside the bar. Okay, and some
barbed wire wrapped around?
Some people had an actual
real
bat
barbed wire
with real barbed wire around.
Come on, bro, this is my costume.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Nobody's gonna know who I am without this. I'm like, I don't care.
I just look like an asshole if I don't have this bat.
Yeah.
No, you still look like an asshole.
Oh, bro, are you gonna make sure nobody steals my bat? Nobody's gonna steal your bat. Nobody wants your bat with the barbed wire around it, dude. I don't understand what you're thinking is. Same thing.
Maybe the other Negan that lost his would want it.
There were plenty for him to pick up.
You should have just set up like a little patio section for just Negan,
just for bats,
for Negan costumes,
and Harley Quinn because she carries a bat too.
Yeah, just have a whole section there.
And the girls dressed as Harley Quinn, they were worse than the guys. Like they wanted to argue with me and you're going to kill my costume. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care about your costume.
Pretty sure you still look like Harley Quinn without the.
Bring a waffle bat.
Exactly. Bring a waffle bat. Why not? And with or without the bat, you still look like a whore. It's good. I like it. We get it. Okay.
You're gonna get laid.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna bang your genitals into somebody else this evening. All right. So good for you.
Someone's gonna give you another bat.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't need that bat. You're gonna get one. You're gonna be surrounded by bats. Okay. So
they're all gonna be swinging for you.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a good thing we're talking about horror movies on Halloween because my life is a horror show. My life is a horror show. I'm 51 years old. I work in a place where there's like average age is 22, and they're all drunk, and they all want to try to tell me what to do. But that doesn't work out for them very well.
So I would imagine Halloween is probably one of the worst holidays.
Halloween, I would say, is second only to 4th of July.
4th of July?
Yeah.
More so than, what's the St. Patty's Day?
St. Patty's Day is not that bad because St. Patty's Day, people get up in the morning and start drinking. And by the time it's time to go to bars, people are so drunk. It's like you're absolutely not coming in. Like I can see you from across the street. It's like, yeah, you're not coming in. So most of the people inside are a little bit drunk, but like by the evening, everybody's kind of calmed down. Same thing with Cinco de Mayo. New Year's Eve, people don't get really, really drunk until it's time to go home. So there's not a problem there. But Halloween, everybody thinks is the time that they are supposed to just act as crazy as they want. Like we get people are spending a lot of money on this like really theatrical makeup for Halloween, not understanding that, okay, with that makeup on, you don't look anything like this ID. Right. So I can't let you in. Like you could be anyone, and they said like, dude, obviously that's me. I'm like, okay, you're dressed like Darth Maul. I like this, this doesn't look like you. I'm sorry.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, and then they argue. Well, bro, you know how much this makeup costs? No, I don't, because I wasn't idiot enough to go do that like you were. And they have Darth Maul mask that you could have put on and taken off. Okay, I had a guy come in last night. He was a T-Rex. He had on a full T-Rex costume that he was inside. Mm-hmm. And he like handed us an ID. It's like, what are we supposed to do?
Did he do it with his little tiny T-Rex hand?
Yeah,
You should have put a little photo of a T-Rex on the ID.
That you know what? That would have been clever.
That would have been clever.
That would have been clever. And I might have even
let him in for chutzpah.
He had to take off his entire costume, which was a blow-up costume. So he had to take it off and get out, show us the picture, put it back on, and then have his costume. It took like 5 minutes to blow the costume back up.
Was he pissed?
He was pissed. He was pissed, and I was laughing.
How do they not realize this? Like, that's
because it is the People's Republic of Moronica, and they're just they just don't know. It just kind of is what it is, I guess.
All right. I can't complain about my job now.
No, you can't. I would gladly trade with you, whatever your job is. I don't even care what you do. Whatever your job is, it's better than this one. It is better than this one. It's like the same thing. I ran a strip club for years. Oh, dude, you have a great job. Oh, you want to change? You can have this job.
All right. Any wrapping up thoughts on horror movies?
Horror movies rock. They used to be better in the 70s.
70s, 80s are the best horror movies. Yeah. That's for sure.
Now everything, I think every horror movie is practically just the same.
And probably, do you think it relies too much on CGI special effects now, where you don't work as hard to set up psychological tensions?
I would say absolutely.
That could be some of it.
Or that everything's been done.
A lot of it just feels like retreads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's almost like in every movie genre, really. Lately,
I think you
see more of the pains in horror movies. Though I don't know.
I think you give a lot of respect to the movies that use like The Thing, that it did like took the time to like build these creatures and stuff, or something like American Werewolf in London. Mm-hmm. You know, where the makeup is just incredible. And like to me, like one of the scariest movies to me is the movie Cujo, which is just like it's about a rabid dog, but it's like it's actually really scary. It's like something that could really happen.
Yeah.
The Conjuring. Like, I don't think it's, even though it's based on a true story. Yeah, good for them. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Jason is going to come up out of Silver Lake and pull me off a boat, or something.
Interesting note: Jason only got his mask to the third movie, I think. Jason didn't have a mask in the first two.
What did he look like before?
And the first one's actually about his mother. It's not really about him.
Yeah, she's the killer in the first one. Yeah. If you get a chance, you got to see, I think it's Jason in Outer Space.
Yeah, Jason in Space, yeah.
Jason in Space.
That's Jason. Yeah. Is that X?
Yeah, something like
Maybe,
that.
yeah.
You have got to see that.
Yeah, it's stupid.
How does he
there's like backstory on why.
Sneaks his way onto a spaceship?
There's a whole backstory on how
he's
he got there.
He's like frozen. They freeze him and...
Oh, they freeze him and shoot him into outer space?
He's on a spaceship.
He's on a spaceship, yeah.
But like, do they freeze him and shoot him out there so he can't hurt anyone on Earth? Or
I never understood why he was there.
They explain in the movie. It's been so long since I've seen it, but it's really dumb.
It's really dumb and really worth you seeing, because just to sit through it and go.
It's a good laugh. Yeah,
yeah. It's like seeing like a Sharknado. It's like, because you wonder, it's like, how did this get made? Who's paying for this? And Sharknado's on 4, I think it is.
Yeah.
So
is the 90210 guy still in it?
Oh yeah, I think he's like the executive producer.
Ian
Ziering.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which, by the way, this guy. So he was married to Nikki Ziering before.
Who's that?
She's an extremely hot blonde.
Okay.
He was married to, and I understand that's when he was on 90210, so he was on like the hot show. Now he does Sharknado, and I saw him at Comic-Con. He's got probably the best looking wife I've ever seen on the planet. I'm like, how is Ian Ziering? How is his life like this?
Sharknado's huge.
He's making lots of money from that.
He's making a shitload of money from Sharknado.
It's funny too, because he was kind of like the B-side character on that show, and he's the only one that still has any kind of career.
Any kind of career, yeah. So there you go. Make Sharknado. Sharks are always good for you, ladies and gentlemen. Good.
Very true.
God. We should write a horror movie right here before we get out of here. Okay, I'll start the premise.
Well, I think the theme of you being chased around by a midget kind of writes itself.
There you go, killer midgets chasing a large black man, who by the end of the movie, of course, dies because he is a black guy. So.
Everybody, that's a movie for everybody.
Listen, you want to see that movie? Come down to the PBL house any Friday or Saturday night. and you will see that movie. You will see me physically run when I see midgets.
Bring your little people friends to torment Shark.
Bring your own little person.
He's only racist because he's afraid of you. It's
yes,
not.
Bring him.
He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any hatred in his heart. He's just terrified.
Exactly.
He's more afraid of you than you
exactly.
are.
I'm like other racists. There's a lack of understanding.
Yes. You need a friend. You need a
exactly.
You need a little people friend.
I don't understand why small wizards exist on this planet, and that they're here to torment me. So that's a problem.
So we're getting short on time. Any ideas for next time? We're thinking of maybe doing Luke Cage.
You know what?
I'm 2 episodes in, so I'll try to watch some more between now and then.
You know, I think we should do Luke Cage, and by that time, let's talk about Jessica Jones too.
Sure, we could. Yeah,
I've seen that one.
They kind of overlap each other, don't they?
Yeah.
I've only seen one episode of Jessica Jones, but I can watch it. Yeah.
It's good. I really like Jessica Jones.
I do too. Probably.
We'll do
Doctor Strange is coming out like next week, isn't it?
Is it?
Let's do Luke Cage. Let's do Doctor Strange maybe the week after that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, sounds good.
I like it.
Even though I said no more.
You said
I said no more superhero movies.
No more superhero movies.
And here we
for
are.
The year.
Yeah.
But there's nothing else out. So
you can't get away from them. It's like everything.
And I've actually heard good buzz about it. So
yeah, I thought the trailer looked good.
I haven't seen it.
It looks like Inception to me. Like,
yeah.
Like they took Inception and threw in Doctor Strange. But I'm grumpy and
were you guys ever into that comic? I'm not really familiar with Doctor Strange.
No.
I didn't read any comics growing up.
But that's kind of like and this is Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Lately older kind of like B-side comics have been the better better productions.
Well, they were then too. Like when I read comic books as a kid, but I was always a Batman fan, so I would always read Batman. But like stuff like Fantastic Four and all that was so bad.
Yeah,
because it was just it was fun as a kid, but Batman was always real cool. Spider-Man I hated, but the X-Men I loved. Like Beast and Wolverine were always my favorite characters. So
yeah, so. Hopefully, yeah. So,
and Iron Fist is going to be on Netflix soon too.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which is crazy. I saw the Iron Fist.
I don't know who that is.
It's some unknown guy, but
okay,
it kind of is what it is. So
yeah, I don't know Iron Fist either.
Yeah,
sounds adventurous.
It will be adventurous.
All right. Well, we're just about out of time here, so. We'll see you guys next week with most likely Luke Cage. This has been Rec Reviews on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Beware the midgets.
Beware.
They are out there. Purge them.
Oh, Jesus. We lost all our little bit.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.